I love a finale. Finales of Buffy and Angel mean an apocalypse or two. Finales of House mean a revelation of epic proportions which usually ends up in everyone being miserable. Finales of Firefly mean... oh yeah, that's right, we never got one of those, you people who cancelled Firefly. Breathe, Eevee, breathe. The finales of Doctor Who that we've come to expect from our Lord and Master Russell T Davies are all of this and more. Generally there's some kind of apocalypse. Let's face it, while Rusty's around, Earth will never be safe. Money gets saved up especially, so we know we're in for special effects of blockbuster proportions. Usually millions will be slaughtered during the episode, not as a kind of sacrifice to the controller of the BBC. Which means that at least one regular cast member will be completely miserable. And Rusty writes epic revelations like they're going out of fashion. So what makes Doctor Who finales special has to be something else, and I reckon it's the villains. So I'm going to propose an experiment to prove that I'm right, and it requires some viewer participation. So whoever's watching this, and I know someone is, go and locate a parent, child, sibling, spouse, crazy auntie, friend, internet stalker or pet, preferably one who's actually seen the Doctor Who Series 3 finale, and ask them which character or aspect of the finale they thought was best. Go on, you can leave your computer, I don't mind. I've got plenty here to amuse me. Go on, I promise I won't start again without you. Go on.
There's something I have to tell you. Something important. What was it? No, hold on. Shh. Oh! I know! Merry Christmas!
About this earth with just a suitcase in my hand. And I've met some bug-eyed Joes, I've met the blessed, I've met the damned.
Oh good, you're back. So, let's hear the results. Go on, shout it out. Go on, shout it out to me nice and loud. If you just shout it out to me nice and loud, I'm inside a monitor. I can't hear you, nutters. Anyway, if you asked Kathleen, you had the name Captain Jack squeed at you at 100 miles an hour and at a very high pitch. If you asked any other person, they said the Master. And if they didn't, you asked the wrong person. Or you asked the cat. Derek Jacobi and John Sim in all their mastery forms made this finale really special. I found Professor Yana intriguing from a very geeky point of view. Rewatching it and knowing the big revelation in advance, see? Epic revelations. I found it fascinating that the Master had this aspect of his personality just kind of tucked down deep inside. Very deep inside. But let's not beat about the bush. I know who you fangirls really loved, and it wasn't Derek Jacobi. Kathleen, stop saying Captain Jack. We'll get to him in a moment. But first let's hear it for John Sim. Having watched Life on Mars like the crazy obsessive fangirl that I am, I was so thrilled to see him on Doctor Who. I was, truth be told, a little apprehensive when I heard months before it happened, thanks to The Independent, that John Sim would be playing the Master. I mean, Sam Tyler seemed like a nice guy, but a bit of a weed really. He's not the big man with the goatee and the booming voice that we've all come to expect from the Master. But thankfully I was completely wrong. Doesn't happen often, but I'm glad it did this time. The Master was the Doctor's equal in every respect. He was witty and quick and, you know, up to date in his taste in music. Who amongst you fangirls hasn't downloaded Voodoo Child since it played? Oh, all of you. Just me then. My gosh, was he slashy. I like it when you use my name. I'll say no more, but I know that some of you know what I mean. Cossie. But look at that! I've got to slash, which means it must be time for me to talk about Captain Jack. To be completely honest, I was a little bit disappointed. Not in John Barrowman's performance, but in Russell T Davies. just thought that after 2 years of waiting for Jack to return to Doctor Who, that the few episodes that he was in would be more about him. It was a shame, really, that he was so overshadowed by the return of the Master, because he was, let's face it, you know, you can't really compete with that. I would have liked Jack to be the best part of the finale, and I don't think he was. However, he did make it impossible to watch Utopia without screaming, and I absolutely loved every single mention of Torchwood. Jack and the Doctor confronting each other and like working through their issues was done really well. I was a bit worried that they'd kind of skip past it and just move to the action, which does happen sometimes, you know, after all it's only 45 minutes. You know, we don't have the time to do what fanfiction writers do so well and write pages of dialogue in which they angst at each other. So it was nice to see at least something. That scene through the glass was done so well, and I think that scene was one of my favourite parts. And let's face it, Utopia was an episode full of favourite parts. So I'm glad he was there, and I loved watching him with David Tennant. But really, this was a finale all about the Doctor and the Master. And wonderful as they were, and are, and always will be, it was a shame to lose a bit of Jack because of them. I do have a few words of criticism. I always do, after all. There is a point where a show stops being ambitious and new and inventive and becomes over-ambitious. I'm worried that Doctor Who is getting too close to and sometimes crossing that line. Sadly and worryingly, we've been promised even more ambitious storylines for season 4, so I think that's something to watch out for. I won't say too much about Martha, because I don't want to join the hordes of Martha haters. I don't hate her. Let's get that clear right now. But anyone who knows me even vaguely well will know that I am not her biggest fan. And it's not just the fact that she isn't Rose, which I know it is for some people, and you know, fair enough, that's fine. I miss Rose as well. But I approached season 3 with an open mind and hoping for really good things, and the thing about Martha is that she didn't meet my expectations, which is a shame. And maybe I shouldn't expect so much, I don't know, but yeah, anyway, so we won't dwell on that, but yeah, I think that for me she did drag down season 3 a little bit. I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh, you know who I would love to see more of though? Sally Sparrow. Now there's someone I would really love to see as a proper companion, so maybe that's something to work in the future. Or am I just deluding myself that anything I say here will be paid attention to? Overall, season 3 has not been my favourite series of Doctor Who, mainly for the reasons I just expressed. But some things have been so clever and so witty and just so overall fantastic. And there's been some really moving stuff in it as well. I've cried quite a lot. I just hope that sometime in the future Doctor Who will get back to the consistency that we had in seasons 1 and 2. Success is lost as easily as it's gained, so I mean, we've seen that with Doctor Who in the past, so just a word of warning there. But if the team at Doctor Who can produce a season of episodes that are as fantastic as Human Nature, Blink, Utopia, and I know they can, then I reckon all the other TV channels will just have to pack up and leave for Saturday evenings. And what's more, nobody will care. So really, all of this just leaves me with one question. What the hell do I do now on a Saturday evening?